Jesus firmly resists any such analysis of how the world is ordered. I mean, the world is stranger than that, darker than that, but most importantly, the light of God shines more brightly than that. Contrary to what the Pharisees think, God doesn't run the world like a moral slot machine where people put in certain coins and get certain results. I mean, our world is way too messy, way too complex to think like that. But Jesus believes a different story about God. One that says God has sent his light into the world to bring new life out of human suffering. The God of Jesus Christ doesn't afflict people with suffering. He brings people out of their suffering and into new life. At the start of the sermon, I said that whether we trust God or not depends on what story we believe about him. And so I ask you, what story do you believe about God? Do you believe the Pharisees' story about God? The one that says God punishes people for their sins by afflicting them with suffering? Or do you believe Jesus' story about God? The one that says God brings people out of their suffering and into new life? Personally, I can't trust the God of the Pharisees. Their God is a rigid legalist who controls the world by rewarding the righteous and punishing the wicked. And that means when I undergo suffering in my life, I can only assume I deserve it. And when something goes right, I have to wonder how long it will last before I mess it up. That kind of God doesn't lead to love. It leads to anxiety. That kind of God doesn't lead to joy. It leads to comparison and pride, if you're perfect like the Pharisees, or shame, if you're like the blind man. And if we're honest with ourselves, none of us are perfect. We are all the blind man. We all know we could never stand before a legalistic God without fear of punishment. And you can't trust a God that you're afraid of. But I can trust the God of Jesus Christ. His God brings people out of their suffering and into new life. He's not standing at a distance with a clipboard grading my performance. He steps into the complex mess of humanity. He moves towards the blind, the broken, the rejected, the suffering. And he's not looking for a reason to condemn. He's looking for people to restore.